You have to have this variance of emotion, and it's mind training. Like, the person who can deal with all of the other things that are not comfortable or fun is the person who's really going to have just a happy life that feels easier, even though there's no easier things happening than the next person.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
And we're back sweatier than ever. I wish you guys could see us right now. We are drenched in sweat. Just ran, 4.5 miles?
Yeah, 4.5 up hills, around cornfields, in the heat, which is fantastic because you and I have been listening to the comfort crisis and trying to live it out, meaning just really, I'm trying to get really uncomfortable with too much comfort in my life. And that book is helping me so much just reframe when we are on runs. You know, I took a break from running for a while, and let me tell you, coming back to it has been like, honestly, mentally, the hardest thing for me. Like, physically, I can tell like my body's like a little tired in the beginning, and I drop in and get used to it on mile 2 and 3. But mentally, I'm fighting with all the things I used to fight with when I started running. Like, my mind feels like a toddler throwing a frustrated temper tantrum. And I know that that is when I've gotten too comfortable with different things in my life. And I can always kind of reset it back with like running or physical things. So I've just observed my workouts have gotten a little bit easier. I haven't been running as much, and my brain doesn't want to do the hard things. So I'm stopping this in its tracks and doing my best to really dive into the uncomfortable thing. And I noticed that translates into my entire life. Not sometimes, every time.
Actually, it's translated into more happiness for me.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I know we've already done podcasts on this before, but this is what's real to us in a moment right now. I probably reference that book every single day. I'm not exaggerating. At least once a day, every single day, I reference that book now. The other day when I was flying to Fast Foundations to Denver, my connecting flights got canceled after 3 hours of delays, right? So like, oh, delayed another hour, and I sit there. Oh, delayed another hour, you sit there. Oh, delayed another hour. And then like, never mind, it's canceled right after you sitting there for 3 hours. And I immediately started to throw an internal fit. There's a name for these. They're called Chris fits. And usually they used to be out loud. And now at least they're internal. But the point is, I was able to correct it right away. It's like, dude, just solve the problem. Like, all you have is an expectation hangover right now that this was going to be an easy day of travel and you were going to get there on time, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get there, right? So rolled up my sleeves, borrowed a car from mom, drove 2 hours to an airport that was not the airport I was originally flying out of, quickly got a hotel, spent the night, and flew out early the next morning and made it on time to speak and teach from my part at Fast Foundations. And you know what's really cool is, one, it took something that I used to throw a fit around and I would have like ruined my own day. Listen to that sentence. I would have literally ruined my own day. Everything would have been bad attitude, poor me. Mm-hmm. And instead I was like, all right, how do I make this fun? Like, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I threw on a book when I was driving the couple hours to go get the second flight. And it's the book on Bob Iger's, the recent CEO of Disney. That book is so freaking good, and it's delivered you and me a couple of gifts, right? When we've been talking about business things. So I'm like, oh my God, it's no coincidence. I just listened to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's like, I had a blast by myself. I do love alone time by myself. I do love driving. I got to have a night alone in the hotel. It was just like great to have some space and to be able to consume an entire book on the drive down. And then, of course, the drive back when I had the return flight and on the flight itself. Oh, that's the other thing. The flights didn't have Wi-Fi. What is this, 1936? They literally didn't have working Wi-Fi. And where I would have thrown a fit, what am I going to do for 2 hours? Like, oh, poor me. What am I going to do for 2 hours? Mm-hmm. The plane going 500 miles an hour, 35,000 feet in the sky doesn't have Wi-Fi. Listen how ridiculous that is. I would have let that be an additional thing that pissed me off. This would have been a multi-layered pissed off sandwich by now. Like, think about it, Lori. Mm-hmm. This would right? The
Even
bun,
when I called you, I was surprised that you were so calm, because I was like, oh shit, I'm definitely going to get an earful.
Yeah, and not just calm, in a great mood. Like, in the past, the bottom bun would have been the delays. The meat would have been the cancellation. The cheese would have been, I have to borrow mom's car and do a 2-hour drive to another airport. The lettuce would have been finding a last minute hotel. Right, and so on. So this would have been my discomfort shit burger.
Yeah.
My pissed off burger.
Special.
Yep. And instead, man, it was just awesome. It's just awesome. And so I've been referencing this book in my head, The Comfort Crisis, literally every day. And it's just become such a good tool for me to take moments that would have made my life unhappy and reframe them to make my life not just happy, but happier by finding, how am I going to grow in this, or what's for me in this?
Yeah, it's so interesting how we take all these little moments and make them a personal hell. And, you think like, if this goes wrong, then the whole day is wrong. And I think the Comfort Crisis, what it did for me was just say, like, it really is all part of it. And you don't actually get to experience that joy and the great stuff without going through these other things, because you have to have this variance of emotion, and it's mind training. Like, the person who can deal with all of the other things that are not comfortable or fun is the person who's really going to have just a happy life that feels easier, even though there's no easier things happening than the next person.
It's funny, there's a big payoff, and there is an easier life if you lean into more discomfort. Here's like a real example. You and I bought rucksacks. And if you guys don't know what those are, rucking, I know it sounds like when my dog is swearing with an R in front, but it's not. It's a real word. Rucking is, like when soldiers have to wear their big rucksack and hike for, 10, 15, 20 miles. And they sell these rucksacks where you put a 25 or 45 or whatever pound plate in the sack, in this backpack. It's tight to your body, so it's comfortable to wear, but it makes your run or your walk that much tougher. And we heard in the book, The Comfort Crisis, that there was a study done of soldiers that carry 45 pounds or more in their rucksacks for an extended period of time. And it found that an hour to 2 hour walk with a rucksack on can torch 1,500 to 2,500 calories instead of just 200 to 400 calories. So of course that was, Lori and I looked at each other like, wait a minute, we're already doing these 4.5 mile walks every single day, at least once a day while we're up here at the lake house. And when we're back home, we do a couple 3 mile walks a day. Why don't we buy rucksacks, throw them on, and see if it like totally changes our body? So my whole point is we're already doing the walks, but they've gotten comfortable. And we decided, let's voluntarily make them very uncomfortable for the hour to hour and a half that we're walking. But in return, life will be better. Life will be happier because now we're torching 8 to 10 times the calories doing something we're already spending time doing, which will give us a happier life because I get to eat more cheeseburgers.
Now, we have not done this yet, because I'm still waiting on the backpack portion.
We got the plates.
But the plates are sitting on the counter, and I have not been able to move it because it is very heavy. I know I can, but I'm like, oh my God, that's heavy. I can't move it off the counter, but I'm going to carry this for 4.5 miles? Okay, but we're doing it. So we'll report back. I just saw it shipped out this morning, by the way. So it should be here
I'm excited for it.
Any minute.
I guess if we had to leave you with anything, we realized, like we truly consciously realized we had gotten too comfortable and it was making us soft. Physically and mentally. And then we realized in reading this book, it's just a few choices to get your edge back. And your edge is going to be your metaphorical and your literal edge in life. And that's what we're on a mission to get.
And I want to say how we noticed. I think that one of my biggest things that I noticed within myself and even you is like, I noticed we were complaining about little things more frequently. That should not bother us. So maybe if you're noticing that you're kind of like resisting, like challenging things or putting things off a lot and it's piling up and you're getting frustrated, or your Mondays are really irritating because you like hate all of the extra little admin work, or housework is starting to bother you, like that means you're too comfortable. All of these things should start to feel, if you're chasing discomfort, should just start to feel like a part of life. Like you move from task to task with less frustration and resistance. And that's really the ultimate goal, is to be able to do all of these things in your life that are challenging, but do them with a lot less resistance, mental resistance and physical resistance around them. And that's going to make your life feel easier if you chase that discomfort.
I love it. All right, guys, listen, thanks for listening. We always love and appreciate you. And don't forget, we got a surprise coming down the pipe for you this fall. We bonded together with a few other people that I know you listen to and follow, and cracked the code on how to make it easy for you to go to as many business and self-development events as you want for free. And I should say, for one small membership. It's called The Greatest Year of Networking in Your Life. Our network is second to none, and we owe it to like the couple of years of rolling up our sleeves and being everywhere. And we said, how can we make it affordable for people? So if you want to be the first to get the news on that this fall, because it's going to be very limited, all you have to do is text us the word events to 310-421-0416. Again, text us the word events to 310-421-0416. First come, first serve. I cannot wait for you guys to see how we crack the code on this thing. And we'll see you in person a whole bunch. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you.
Hey all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show, and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys, make sure that you go subscribe to the show, Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it. Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back
And I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.